Hello and welcome to a Canadian lawyer interview with one of the top personal injury boutiques for 2025. I'm Brody Lawson, and today we are joined by one of the country's leading personal injury lawyers, whose firm earned the recognition for its client-first approach and deep community roots. Let's welcome Justin Robichaud, founding partner at Fidelis Law. Thanks for joining us today, Justin, and congratulations.
Well, thank you so much for having us. It's wonderful to be here.
First of all, what does this recognition mean to you and to your team? And how do you think it reflects your firm's mission and values?
Well, first off, we're really grateful for this recognition. It's always encouraging to know that how you approach and how we approach our work is resonating, not just with our clients, but with others in the legal community as well. So we're a relatively small firm, 9 lawyers spread across our offices in Moncton and Edmundston. So to be named among the top personal injury firms in the country, it feels a bit like we're punching above our weight. But in all honesty, I mean, that's familiar territory for us, representing plaintiffs against well-resourced insurance companies, being the underdog. That's where we do some of our best work. So this recognition tells us we're on the right track to stay focused on people, not file numbers, focus on doing things properly, not just quickly, treat clients with respect and be there when it counts. And that's what we've always believed in, and that's what we'll continue to stay true to.
Let's start right at the beginning, the name you chose for the firm. Fidelis in Latin is faithful or loyal. So what's the story there?
Well, it's definitely unique. We spent a lot of time thinking about what kind of name we wanted. For us, Fidelis stood out because it actually means something. Loyalty to our clients and their families, loyalty to the idea that the legal profession should be a force for good, especially when it comes to advancing the rights of individuals that are injured or disabled. We like that the name held us to a standard. It reminds us that of what we're here for, what we do every day, to show up, to stand by our clients, and to honor the trust that they place in us. So the name definitely wasn't solely focused on branding. If it was, there would have been easier names to pronounce. So it's about setting a tone, keeping our focus on what matters.
Fidelis Law emphasizes a client-focused approach over high-volume settlements. You're very clear that you're not a settlement mill. Can you elaborate on how this philosophy shapes the way your team practices and how it influences client outcomes?
We're very intentional about how we practice. We've always been very clear that we're not a volumes-based practice. We don't take on every file that comes through the door, and we don't believe in rushing cases just to get a quick result. Our first objective is to make sure our clients get the treatments and the care they need to support their recovery. For most people we work with, no check, and no matter how large, can make up for what they've lost. So helping them get back on their feet physically and emotionally has a far bigger impact than the dollar amount at the end of a file. We only begin talking about resolution when we have a clear understanding of how the injuries have affected their life and that of their families. And when it's time to settle or to litigate, if that's necessary, we take every step necessary to make sure they receive the full financial compensation they deserve. So that approach takes time. We believe it's the right way to do this kind of work, and it's the kind of representation we would want ourselves and that we want our families to receive.
As you've mentioned, you are a New Brunswick-based firm. Can you tell me a bit about how the legal market for personal injury is out on Canada's East Coast?
Well, it's definitely a smaller market, but I think that brings a strong sense of community. People know each other, lawyers know each other, and reputation really matters here. So it's a place where personal connection makes a difference. We're not just representing clients. Our lawyers come from communities all across the province, and many are still anchored really in those same places. So we're representing our families, we're representing our friends, our neighbors. There aren't too many degrees of separation, and that adds another layer of accountability and purpose to the work we do. So it's a market where reputation is earned one client at a time. If you fight hard for your clients, treat people fairly, and stand up for what's right, I think people notice, and that trust builds over time. And that's something we've worked hard to earn.
Beyond the courtroom, your firm is very active in the broader community. Can you share some examples with us?
I think community engagement is something we've built into the fabric of Fidelis from the start. We did so by being very intentional in building a team that shared our values of community leadership and engagement. It's not something we've had to push. It's something that's already deeply ingrained in who we are as individuals and especially as a team now. So, look, we seek to have meaningful impact, whether through time, resources, or partnerships. In terms of examples, we don't often highlight our contributions publicly. I mean, the initiatives we're involved in aren't about branding or recognition for us. It's done because we care about where we live and believe in helping however we can. So our work in the legal system is about helping people through some of their hardest moments. And that instinct, I think, carries into everyday life for all of us.
Why is community connections such a core value for you?
Well, for me, I think for me personally, it comes from a first-hand understanding of the impact that a community can have on individuals in need to support and uplift them when it matters most. When I was young, my family went through a very difficult time. Our house burnt down a week before Christmas, and it was our community in Capelle that rallied around us, offering shelter, financial support, and a lot of emotional strength. So later, again, I saw my dad's own community in Sandwich, Kent, rally around him when he needed help after a work injury and some of the treatments weren't covered. They stepped up once again. So when you've benefited and you've seen the people you love the most benefit from that kind of support, and you eventually find yourself in a position to give back, I think it's not just a nice thing to do. It sort of becomes part of who you are.
You've held leadership roles in the legal community, including as president of the Law Society of New Brunswick and with the Canadian Bar Association. Why is giving back to the profession a priority for you?
I think giving back to the profession has always been a priority here for the firm, not just for me personally, but the entire team. I've had, tremendous opportunity, like you said, to serve as president of the Law Society, president of the New Brunswick branch of the Canadian Bar Association. I've also recently been appointed as second vice president of the Federation of Law Societies of Canada. But, I'm not alone in that commitment. Marie-Josée here at the office is president of the Atlantic Provinces Trial Lawyers Association. Mathieu is the second vice president of the Law Society in New Brunswick. Virginia, Chantal, Jason, Marie-Ève, Mathieu, Marie-Josée, myself, we all sit on various committees at the Law Society and the CBA. So again, I think this isn't accidental. We've been intentional in building a firm where leadership in the profession is part of the culture, because I think we've all benefited from an innumerable number of individuals that have given their own time to improve the system and the profession, either through leadership, advocacy, mentorship. And I think now it's just our turn to do the same.
You're also a sessional lecturer teaching insurance law. How does your role as an educator influence your perspective as a practicing lawyer?
Honestly, it's been a great experience and something, we're proud to do together. So I co-teach that insurance law course at the University of Moncton here with my colleagues Mathieu, Marie-Josée, and Chantal. And that shared experience, I think, really shapes how we look at the practice. I mean, it forces you to slow down, really think about why we do things a certain way, not just what the law says, but how it plays out in real life. It also reminds us of how complex this area can be for people who don't live it every day, which helps us become clearer, more patient communicators with our clients too. So it's also a very nice, full circle moment for us to take what we've learned in practice, pass it along to the next generation of lawyers.
Finally, looking ahead, what are your goals for Fidelis Law and what can clients and the legal community expect?
I think looking ahead, we want to keep doing good work, build a team that shares our values. Growth is definitely part of the plan, but we want to do it, in a thoughtful and sustainable way. We're We're not trying to be the biggest firm. We're not, we're focused on being the most trusted by the people and communities we serve. And for us, that means investing in our team, continuing to evolve how we deliver our services, staying true to the principles we started with, which is, never losing sight of the people behind the files, fighting hard to protect their rights and securing the care they need, as well as the full financial compensation they deserve. So I think we want to continue to build a firm where clients feel supported and where lawyers want to stay, grow, and really contribute to our profession and our communities.
Well, Justin, it's been a pleasure chatting with you and getting a glimpse behind the scenes at Fidelis Law. And congratulations again on being named one of Canadian Lawyer's top personal injury boutiques for 2025.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate everything.
And to our audience, thanks for following along today. For more interviews and rankings, be sure to visit CanadianLawyerMag.com. Until next time, I'm Brodie Lawson.